The garage was buzzing with tension, expectation, and a touch of disbelief. When Toprak Razgatlıoğlu finally lined up on the grid for his long-awaited MotoGP debut at the 2026 Thai Grand Prix, the spotlight instantly shifted toward the Turkish star. Many fans expected fireworks, others expected a painful learning curve. What they got instead was something far more intriguing. Despite finishing the race without scoring points, the performance of the former Superbike World Championship legend left the Yamaha Motor Company garage quietly impressed. Within the team, there was a growing sense that something special might be developing beneath the surface. For Yamaha management, the debut of Razgatlioglu was never just about the final result on the scoreboard. It was about speed, adaptation, and the ability to survive one of the toughest transitions in motorcycle racing, jumping from superbikes to the premier class. And according to Yamaha's leadership, the signs were already very encouraging. The 2026 MotoGP season marks a significant turning point for Yamaha. After years of relying on their traditional inline-4 engine concept, the Japanese manufacturer has officially moved toward a completely new direction with the introduction of the YZRM-1V4. For decades, Yamaha had built its identity around the smooth and balanced characteristics of the inline-4 engine. But after struggling to consistently fight for victories since Fabio Quartararo delivered their last world title in 2021, the factory decided that a radical change was necessary. The V4 project is not just a technical experiment. It is a strategic step designed to prepare Yamaha for the major regulation changes expected in the 2027 MotoGP technical era. Although the new machine is still under heavy development, early signs during the Thai Grand Prix weekend offered a glimpse of potential. Quartararo and Alex Rins managed to secure valuable points for Yamaha, while Jack Miller, racing for the satellite Prima Pramac Yamaha MotoGP squad, showed promising pace throughout the preseason tests. Yet the real talking point inside the paddock was the performance of the rookie, Toprak Razgatlıoğlu. Managing director of Yamaha Motor Racing, Paolo Pavesio, openly admitted he was impressed by what he saw from the Turkish rider during his first MotoGP appearance. Even though Razgatlioglu did not score points, his pace relative to the other Yamaha riders was surprisingly close. According to Pavesio, when analysing the performance of the four Yamaha MotoGP riders across the weekend, the most encouraging detail was how quickly Toprak managed to approach the reference level set by his teammates. Pavesio explained that Razgatlioglu's journey into MotoGP is particularly fascinating because he arrives after years of dominance in World SBK. Naturally, the Turkish rider initially tried to adapt the MotoGP machine to feel closer to a superbike. Yamaha supported this process. During testing at Sepang International Circuit, the team experimented with certain ergonomic adjustments, including modifications to the handlebar feel and rear aerodynamic components, in order to help Razgatlioglu find a familiar riding sensation. However, MotoGP remains a completely different world. Eventually, Toprak realized that competing in MotoGP requires embracing the same technical and riding principles used by the other 21 riders on the grid, learning those nuances, from tyre management to aerodynamic riding techniques, is part of the long adaptation process. Pavesio also emphasized that Yamaha invested considerable time supporting the rookie. Crew chief Alberto Giribuola, along with former MotoGP star Andrea Dovizioso, worked closely with Razgatlioglu throughout the weekend to accelerate his learning curve. From Yamaha's perspective, the progress made in Thailand was already one of the most positive stories of the race weekend. Looking purely at the results sheet, Razgatlioglu's debut might appear modest, but the timing data tells a far more compelling story. In his very first Grand Prix appearance, the Turkish rider finished the race less than 9 seconds behind Fabio Quartararo, Yamaha's benchmark rider. His lap times during the weekend were also remarkably competitive. Free practice 1, 131.109. Qualifying 1, 130.165. When compared with his Yamaha teammates, the gaps were extremely small. Less than 0.1 seconds behind Alex Rins, around 0.3 seconds behind Jack Miller, approximately 0.6 seconds behind Fabio Quartararo, widely regarded as one of the fastest single-lap riders in MotoGP. For a rookie coming from superbikes, riding a completely new prototype machine, using Michelin tyres, and adapting to unfamiliar electronics and aerodynamics, these numbers are extremely encouraging. From a technical and sporting perspective, Razgatlioglu's debut carries deeper significance than simply finishing outside the points. First, the transition from World SBK machinery to MotoGP prototypes is historically one of the most difficult jumps in motorcycle racing. The bikes behave entirely differently. Braking zones are longer, aerodynamics change cornering dynamics, and tyre management becomes far more complex. Second, Razgatlioglu is adapting at the same time Yamaha is reinventing its motorcycle. Learning MotoGP while the factory is still refining its V4 engine platform makes the challenge even more demanding. Yet the early data suggests he is already approaching the performance window of experienced MotoGP riders. If this trajectory continues, Razgatlioglu could quickly evolve from an experimental rookie into one of Yamaha's key development riders, potentially a serious competitor once the V4 project reaches full maturity. Following the opening race in Thailand, the championship now moves to an entirely new destination, the Brazilian Grand Prix, MotoGP, at the Autodromo International Ayrton Senna. The circuit will be unfamiliar territory for every rider on the grid, which could level the playing field. For Razgatlioglu, the race presents a valuable opportunity to continue his adaptation process and possibly chase his first MotoGP points. Another rider expected to draw attention that weekend will be Brazilian rookie Diogo Moreira, representing LCR Honda, who will be racing in front of his home crowd. But inside the Yamaha garage, the focus remains clear. The project is still young, the bike is still evolving, and Toprak Razgatlıoğlu's MotoGP journey has only just begun. Momentum from Thailand now follows Toprak Razgatlıoğlu as he continues his first full campaign in MotoGP, and inside the Yamaha Motor Company garage there is a growing belief that the Turkish rider's real potential has only just begun to surface. Even without points in the opening race, engineers and team members reportedly left the weekend feeling optimistic about the pace he displayed under difficult circumstances.